and you knew Hellen Obiri with the 5K, 10K speed, we're going to like, what's she going to do? She's probably the best, obviously the best kicker here. It's a matter of can she just hold on to the final 400, which she did, and then she pulled away. But ultimately, it all started with Emma Bates, the American, who was leading basically most of the race. And there was a moment when I felt like, oh, this is the moment she's falling off. But I was like, no, bad angle, bad camera angle. She's still in it. And then there was eventual part, I guess, 2 miles out was when she probably fell off?
It was, no, she was still on with 2 miles to go. It was between 2 miles to go and like
a mile.
40K.
Yeah. It was around the 25-mile mark when I think she was kind of
You could see separation, and then it grew from there.
But they ran a 16:0 5K in that segment. That's when like basically they picked it up when the group of 5 just went for it. Bates tried to hold on. She finished 5th ultimately, but Hellen Obiri, second marathon.
She was fun to watch.
Are we adding her? We got to add her to the list.
She gets added to the list.
We got to add another one to the list.
We said before, are we going to add people, or is someone going to separate themselves into an even higher tier? The question has been answered. We added her to the list because she was 6th in New York in her debut. This was a legit field. And Gordon, they all came to play. They all didn't end up in that final group at the end, but that was a legit pack of some of the best women in the world, absolutely battling it out. I love the different styles. Obiri just got that high arm pump, like she's all there, like making contact with people. Yeah. You had Bariso up there, who has one of the fastest times in history, but from Valencia. Okay, what's that going to mean in Boston? You had Salpeter up there, who's solid in championship races and has a fast PR. Yeshina, who is shouldn't have been an underdog pick, but when you looked at the spreads, she was pretty low, like in terms of odds. She was runner-up last year, run a half marathon. She was in the mix. And that's not even counting all the other ones, like Gebre Selassie, who won Worlds. Jeb Koskai was there. She fell back. I mean, the list went on and on and on and on. So it was cool to see the different styles. It was cool to see the different stages in the careers that all these women were at. And it was awesome to see. Sometimes we overhype the track speed when it comes to the marathon because, hey, they've already run 26 miles. But it sure looked like Hellen Obiri was on the Diamond League circuit in the last 800. Like she was
like that Diamond League final road 5K they do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, she was just punching the air, like big old elbows, kick flying back, everybody staying clear. So, 2:21:38. Bariso, man, this is a great sign for Bariso. I know you're like, oh, man, he run 2:14. Like, what's the big deal? No, proving you can do it in a championship race is where it's at. And then Salpeter right there in 3rd. But I want to talk about Bates. This is probably one of not the best, not in the top 5, but this, people may not remember this race because she got 5th. But this is one of the best performances by an American woman of this era.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
To do what she did against this field, to only be 32 seconds back.
Yeah, not all 5th places are created equal.
Right.
And I think this is that was my biggest takeaway. Like, this is better than most 2nd places at major marathons.
Wasn't it a couple years ago in Chicago when she got 2nd? But the field was, you know what I mean? Like, it's not always as simple as what place did you finish. That's how well you did.
It's how close back you are to people, the talent.
Dude, the next woman was a minute 15 seconds behind her.
Yeah.
And there's some awesome names right there. And she looked like she absolutely belonged with all these women who have just insane credentials. So, I would put that up there with one of the best performances we've seen of this era. It's rare to see that. I don't know, you run the race again, maybe she's able to squeak in the top 3 even in this field. I mean, this was incredible. This was an incredible race. It's not a World Championships. It's not an Olympics. There's bigger fields. There's deeper fields. There's better fields. And Bates was right there. So, she is on the, if we're talking about U.S. rankings.
Yeah, what are our U.S. rankings right now? Who are our top 3 for the trials? Maybe not order, but top 3.
I mean, well, we were all in on Sisson.
We're all in
and
Sisson.
This is scratched, but I would still stick with Sisson, Bates.
We put Bates in there now?
Yeah, 100% you're putting Bates in there. I don't know, man.
And then, I mean, Hall? No.
Well, Tuliamuk was the next American. I might roll with
Hall didn't run this well here.
I might roll with Tuliamuk right now. I mean, it depends on Seidel's health and everything like that too. D'Amato, just there's
like 4 people with. I guess you say there's 4 with legitimate resume now.
Bates is in most people's top 3 at this point.
But then who are you taking out? Molly?
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to say that she's top 3 or not. No, I don't know. So yeah, it was 2021 Chicago Marathon. She got second with a 2:24. But like, look at that field
That's
compared to
nothing
this
compared
field.
to this, yeah.
This was the best performance of her career.
It's like
today.
5x.
Yeah, you got to actually watch the race sometimes. You can't just go and look at results.
You can't just look at the stats and the VORP and the plus minus win shares.
Yeah. You can't be an
You
analytics person.
who actually can play the game.
No, you're watching that race.
This was like a Joel Embiid type performance, and the other one was a Jokic.
Well, she wasn't hanging on. Like, she was controlling the race.
Yeah,
she was leading for a good portion of it. She pulled a Kipchoge.
When the move went, she went with it for majority of it.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until late in the big
Well,
move.
she rallied when she got dropped. She rallied.
Yeah.
How many times do we see that when someone who's running over their head a bit, they get dropped, and all right, clock struck midnight, like, you're done. And she came right back and latched back on. And then it wasn't to the very end. And if it takes that group, that quality of, I mean, Hellen Obiri has multiple Olympic medals on the track. Barisso's run 2:14.
We're putting Hellen Obiri literally on the top tier.
Yeah.
This isn't a sub-tier marathon.
Yeah.
Because even some majors are not all created equally based on the field.
100%.
And this field is probably one of the better Boston fields.
Exactly. And again, look at the people. Look at how close she was to the people who were in front of her, and look at all the names that she beat behind her.